totally unrelated, but here is a Tesla trying to do a battery swap. Man, this guy probably has a degraded battery or something, or maybe he got jealous that his charging took too long. He clearly regrets purchasing his Tesla, guys. NIO just made a massive announcement on the NIO app. They are out for blood, for vengeance. This is, of course, none other than NIO's law department. So what is it that could get the law department also spiced up? That is, of course, patent violation. Ooh, we got a juicy one here, guys. So every year, NIO has a different mascot relative to the Chinese zodiac animal. So in 2024, after Chinese New Year, it's going to celebrate the coming of dragon. So it's going to be the year of dragon. So NIO has their own mascot, two actually. One of them is Long Da Da, and the other one is Xiao Long Bao. These are very well designed, cute mascots with their own patents and everything. And NIO has been selling merchandise with these designs, Long Da Da and Xiao Long Bao merchandise, on the NIO Life store. And they've been selling out, all right? People are buying them. People love them. Kids love them. The design is fantastic, but there have been knockoffs in Taobao and other stores that are not affiliated with NIO, and those have been violating NIO's patents, and NIO is out for blood. NIO is warning them to cease and desist, to cease selling these, or else face the hammer, and could potentially be suing any single vendor that sells these kind of merchandise. Now, patent violation is a pretty big deal, and NIO has over 7,000 patents, and that is why it is so hard for competitors to enter into the battery swap game, because NIO pretty much has all the patents for it. Even if they don't want to partner up with NIO, they have no other option, because you're going to be using one of NIO's patents and violating NIO's patents, and you're going to have to pay up anyways. So why even go the route of building your own swap stations, developing your own swap stations, only later on to be fined and punished for it, when you could be partnering up with NIO for their swap stations, have their technology, and have a smooth path forward? So this is the situation with battery swap, with patents, all right? Essentially, in the future, anybody that wants to do battery swap has to pretty much use NIO's patents, pay NIO a fine. You know, funny enough, NIO's first gen swap stations actually used a lot of patents from other companies for like the cooling stuff, etc. And because of that, the cost of one swap station was around 3 million RMB, all right? More than double what it is right now. So it's double the price of a Gen 2 swap station, because it used a lot of the other companies' patents, and NIO had to pay them patent fees. But with second gen and third gen and fourth gen swap stations, NIO's using their own patents, so there's no need to pay those expensive patent fees. But it shows you how using someone else's patents are extremely expensive. So even though you're seeing companies like Stellantis adopt battery swap in the US with Ample, I'm not sure if NIO has an investment in Ample, or maybe perhaps Ample is using some of NIO's patents, but it's totally possible that even if Ample wants to expand its infrastructure, it's going to have to pay NIO some patent fees. Interestingly enough, NIO talked about how they've hired so many patent lawyers, and they're even welcoming more patent lawyers to protect their intellectual property with technology wise. And trust me when I tell you, patent licensing could be a huge source of revenue for NIO in the future, even if companies don't decide to partner up with NIO in terms of battery swap cooperation or partnership. Just straight up patent licensing could earn them a huge amount of money. Now, funny enough, all right, this is quite interesting. We all know how Nomi is called Nomi here in China, right? But actually in Canada, where I'm from, Nomi has been patented by RBC as a assistant in the RBC app. So it's a banking assistant. And so that was very interesting because I have personal access to RBC, and that's the bank I use. Here I am in my car, there's Nomi, and then there's also Nomi. The same exact spelling, N-O-M-I. So that raises a very interesting question. When NIO enters some of the other markets, international markets, there's going to be some names and stuff that they have to change. Maybe it's not going to be called Nomi in Canada. It's probably going to be called something else. Maybe Nimi or Nemo or something like that. Also, you guys may or may not have known Audi is suing NIO in Australia. Very interesting, right? Because we wouldn't think that NIO is entering Australia, but apparently they are entering Australia soon. NIO is being sued for the use of the name ES6 because it sort of sounds similar to S6 from Audi. So of course NIO is going to have to name it EL6 over there in Australia as well. But yes, right-hand drive market is coming very soon for NIO. ET5, ET5T already available in terms of the right-hand drive configuration. Like they're making it in the factories. So yes, we could be seeing England, the United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Australia, possibly Japan coming soon in the future. I think the patents for NIO are the most important thing for them right now, because with those all set and done, that means going in the future, anybody around the world that wants to do battery swap, they gotta pay NIO some money. I mean, that's gonna be absolutely amazing. And that is also why R&D is so important. It's so important for NIO to self-develop things, have it under their own name, patent their own technology, and not only be able to do it cheaply and increase margins, but also have that as their competitive edge. If other people want to use it, then they gotta pay up. I am pretty sure that if NIO wanted to go after some of the big other auto companies for infringing patents, they could, but it might look a little bit bad on their behalf, so they might be hesitating not doing it, but I'm sure that they could. All of this just tells you NIO is a very valuable company. Everything they have, the intellectual property, the patents are all worth a lot of money. And NIO's got like what, several thousand lawyers, patent lawyers. I mean, that's pretty crazy to think about, to just basically help protect NIO's patents and then create new patents all over the world. This is definitely some important stuff that perhaps not many other automakers are focusing that much on. And I think it will pay off big time in the future. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.